listening to The Betmaker Show. This is the PGA US Tour Masters 2020 Futures Betting Odds Preview for Monday, August 26th, 2019. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of The Betmaker Show, Brian Blessing.
Well, we're always in look-ahead mode, but we're going to recap just a bit because when we talk golf with our pal Cam Stewart, we have a couple of laughs. We try to find you some winners. They basically just wrapped up the 2019 season, but the 2020 season will commence in just a couple of weeks' time. The odds are already up for next year's Masters. We got lots to talk about. Hello, Cameron. How are you today, my friend?
I'm pretty good, Brian. Yeah, it's just, close to hitting the big dartboard again. We made a really nice call with Xander Schauffele, who comes second. And, when we're talking on the phone, it's just one of those things, Brian. It feels like we've won big money before. I remember McDowell when he won at Pebble Beach, and we've hit thousands, Willett in the Masters. Good things have happened. But, man, the second, if we could have every dollar for every second place pick that we've had. And I'll tell you something. You brought up a great point. When Rory McIlroy hits a ball and it's going for the water, and I didn't even know a drainage ditch was that big. It was just a big nugget of grass, and the thing stops the ball from going in the water. I'm thinking, we're screwed, and we were.
The funny thing is, it's kind of a recap. Rory McIlroy wins the FedEx Cup. I can't tell you. You're right. I mean, the frustration element. Yeah, I'm doing a cartwheel. He was actually my top pick. Got Shane Lowry at 80-1. That's the beauty of golf. The whole season's a free roll. But I bet you I had at least 7 runner-up finishes here. And the one, like the McIlroy break there, I know I told you this story, but the 1 week, I bet CT Pan for 2 years. And of course, I don't bet him the week he wins, but the week he wins, I'm going against him. And on number 4, and the only reason I'm telling this story because it's exactly what happened with McIlroy. On number 4, he hits a fairway bunker, and he hits a 9-iron, and it turns out it's a flyer, and the thing's going like its hair on fire on the right side of the green where there's no fans. Always drives me nuts that the guys hit a horrible shot, hits a fan, and they get a break.
Yeah, exactly.
But here I get one where there are no fans, and the thing's going like its hair's on fire over a big hill, going down into hazard. The kid's going to take a triple bogey, and there are 2 volunteers over there, a marshal and a volunteer, and the volunteer has got a lawn chair and a Gatorade bottle over there, and the ball hits the Gatorade bottle and stops on the side of the green. The kid gets a par instead of a 7, and it's on the 4th hole. I said, that's over. I just lost that one, and he won by 1. And then McIlroy hits the one shot he couldn't hit, and his wedge play is terrible.
It is.
And it's going in the water 99 out of 100 times. And it hits a water sprinkler ditch. And it hits the cup of the thing, rolls out of it, and stops. That ball was going in the water. He takes a double there. He does not win this thing. And by the way, he doesn't hit one bad wedge shot after that. He got the break of a lifetime. God bless him. He took advantage. This stuff's heartbreaking when you lose. It's heartbreaking.
It is, Brian. And, I don't know. I'm going to say this, and, maybe it's going to upset some golf fans, but Rory McIlroy, to me, his driver, obviously, it's the full advantage. He has the best, longest, straightest driver, and when it's going, it's amazing. But I can't believe how many times he hits it to, 30 feet when he should be inside 10 feet. He's also very lucky. Like I found in a lot of tournaments, when the balls go in the trees, he seems to be able to find it with a perfect, a perfect launch area. The fans have matted it down perfectly. As for Brooks Koepka, he gets no breaks. As good of a golfer he is, he loses a ball. They put him on the clock. And I agree with Paul Azinger here. It's the last tournament of the year, and the guy has 3 minutes to find his ball. They got people looking for it. What's an extra 2 minutes? We didn't even have Brooks Koepka, but I'm just saying. And how many times have we watched guys like Dustin Johnson when they lose a ball, and there's 100 people out there finding it for the guy? He's got a couple guys. So just to me, golf is very interesting for a sport that is that bet upon, important. It just seems like they don't really have a regimen, Brian? Or am I making sense here? Like they don't really have how come they don't have like, okay, you can have a pack of 5 guys looking for the ball. We could have 10. When Tiger Woods was playing, I remember how many times I came second. Guys lifted a boulder for him to win a tournament. You know what I mean? And you got some other scrub like CT Pan. Nobody cares if he wins or loses, but you do when you're going to win a couple grand.
Well, but let me tell you something. You got to be lucky to win too.
Yeah, you do. You do.
But so you talk about and unlucky to lose. Koepka hits it left on a hole that the gallery is not allowed to be on that side, and there's no water there. So okay, there wasn't an army of fans there to keep it from going where it went, or there's 1,000 people there to go, yeah, it's right here. But then the other aspect of it is, what are these marshals doing? When I watch the golf tournaments, there's nothing more infuriating. Guys hitting it, it's got to go in the water, and it hits a marshal who's not even out there paying attention to the guys playing. Like, how are there not 2 marshals on that side of the course paying attention, and a marshal goes right to it's right here?
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
Exactly.
There's $15 million on the line.
Or they make it worse. A lot of the time you hit him, and instead of the guy getting out of the way and you might have caught a break that hits oh my God, he's joking around with his buddy or some other trying to pick up a lady at the tournament, hits him in the chest. The guy gets buried in 10 feet of fescue. Yeah, it's like, dude, your job is to pay attention to the tee ball and that little flag that you have. There, you put it in the ground. The guy knows where he's hitting his second from. But I'll tell you, man, no other sport like golf. You see these guys fans. You can kick the ball. You could do this. You could do that. It's ridiculous to me. You're right, Brian. They hire these people. Pay attention to what the hell's going on. It's a comedy act.
People listen to you two guys.
I think they might actually agree with us. We watch every stroke of the tournament. Guys have won and lost tournaments because of this stuff. Anyway, I know we're nitpicking, but when you got money on the line,
but when when the difference is, the thing is, it's not just like a one-shot difference because. Okay, the McIlroy thing, that's a break. That's a break in the court.
Breaks happen. Yeah,
and you take advantage of that. The other nonsense. It's a break, but it's a break that never should have happened. But the thing is, it's not just that shot. It's if that ball goes in the water, or if that guy, he doesn't lose a ball and go back to the tee, the mindset of the guy to hit the next shot after it is completely altered.
Exactly.
That one shot is an impact of maybe 7 shots.
No, I'm with you. Totally. If that ball goes in the water, McIlroy questions his wedge game. He caught a break, and then after that, he even found the putter, and that's been the problem with him, hitting short putts, and his wedge game was fantastic. But hey, kudos to Rory McIlroy. He gets it done. If you got him at the start of the tournament, he probably was around, what was he, Brian, 8-1, I think, around at the start of the Tour Championship there. But I'm going to tell you something too. I know we go into the Omega European Masters, and there's been a guy that I've been betting, and I can't believe when I saw on Sunday, Brian, I had one of your moments where I just wanted to smash my head against the wall. I had the guy the week before. I've been betting Eric Von Ruin since the start of this guy. I'm like the president of this guy's fan club. I didn't bet him this week. He won in Sweden, beating Stenson. Oh my God. Anyway, he's 20-1 this week, and if I don't put this guy on the card, I'm a stooge.
I will say this. I usually do. And I did not this week watch the European Tour. I usually do.
Yeah, me, yeah.
And I bet Matthew Fitzpatrick a lot this year.
So did I.
Right, yeah. Did you see what happened to him?
No, I know. I only saw part. He was leading though, right?
Buddy, this is going to make you even sicker on the Van Ruin thing. He's 6 under for the round, bogey free, in control of the tournament on 14. He flushes his second shot, twirls the club, says, "Be right." It hits the base of the stick.
Yes.
Flag stick. And I've never seen a ball. And this thing went 35 yards off the green down into a collection area. He goes from a kick-in birdie to a bogey. It was Fitzpatrick. It was Fitzpatrick's tournament. And if you had Fitzpatrick, I'd be doing this podcast alone today because you'd have been on the QEW looking to cross the median to find a propane truck to drive into.
I still might, Brian, the way things are going right now. But I will say this, guys, too, and when you're betting golf in the sports books, and I do have one advantage, Brian. A lot of the offshores, I could do the top five. So the Shoffley monies for the top five were okay. They weren't what they needed to be, but it's a way to not be totally heartbroken or look at your account afterwards. So, we talk about this. You got to diversify your portfolio in golf. Only one guy wins. So some top fives, some top tens, and some matchup bets sprinkling it around. But I see McIlroy, the favorite in the Omega European Masters at plus 350. Why, is he still bathing in Guinness? I'm not taking him at that price. Pass. Your boy Fitzpatrick and the propane tank, he's 8-1, and my favorite new hello, it's Eric Van Rooyen at 20-1. I gotta take this guy because if I don't, he'll win again.
Well, and the other thing is, by the way, based on yesterday, and that this is what happens. Honestly, until he only missed by a shot, I guess this year. Koepka's 8-1 for the Masters next spring.
Yeah,
Rory McIlroy plummets down to 10-1 as a result of what. And I will say this: Dustin Johnson, by the way, somebody's got to send up a smoke flare or get a GPS bracelet.
He's done.
Wow.
My girlfriend actually, and Lisa, she was actually talking. She goes, "What's wrong with Dustin Johnson?" Like, she was trying to make like a bold prediction. Like, is this guy going to win again? Maybe not for a while. Something does not look right in his game. I know he was chill and kind of docile before, but he's all over the place now. Like, he used to win with his driver, Brian. There is a serious problem with Dustin Johnson's golf game. I know maybe it's, you got a beautiful wife and a family, the Wainers, your God, your what's the relation? I guess, father-in-law. Yeah. Yep. So you know what I mean? You're sitting there going, okay, well, life's pretty good right now, but I could tell you one thing, his attention to detail on the golf course makes him a fade player for a while. And I told you about the U.S. Masters. I've already taken Patrick Cantlay, who was leading, who I needed to win the Masters when I was in Vegas, Brian, that time. I think I got the ticket at 80-1. And then he looked himself on the scoreboard and he kind of went in his pants and said, I'm leading the Masters right now. Then he went bogey, as we know. And then the rest is history, right? Enter Tiger Woods when everybody else is gagging. That's what he does. He's down to 30-1. I think that's a really good price. I got him at 40. He'll be there in the Masters. He is. I know he didn't play well in the Tour Championship. I think he was a little bit overworked, but Cantlay is the real deal. This guy's one of the best players in the world. At that price, I like it.
Betmaker, let's make some money tonight.
For outstanding information and special offerings and promotions, we invite you and encourage you to sign up for our newsletter today simply by going to the website at betmaker.com. I swear, as we're sitting here talking, I'm actually doing this right now. I'm putting, because if he played great last week, should have won. If Fitzpatrick wins a tournament or two in the race to Dubai, he's 125-1 to win the Masters. All right. If he wins one or two tournaments this fall, he'll be 50-1.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's a great price for Matthew Fitzpatrick. He's a world-class player. If you can get him at 125-1, I'd do a lot of clicking. Yeah, even on my book, Brian, I'm seeing 100. So if you could find 125, great number.
In fact, as we speak, boop, done.
click. Yeah, done a lot of clicking. Yes. Golf. One thing about golf betting, it's great, but it'll drive you nuts too, because you're sitting there on Sunday. It's not like a hockey game. You got a 3-goal lead. You feel pretty good. You can, work out to your next situation, work out your finances. You can't hedge a golf tournament. Some guy can go out and shoot a 61 on Sunday. You're sitting there going, what the hell is going on? You can't bet every guy in the field. There's things you can do, Brian, which you do a lot of: weekend numbers, reposting of numbers, taking a guy 8 shots back in a major when you know it's going to be a grind. But you never know. There's so many guys that can come out of nowhere. It's a very, very hard sport to.
You got one shot at hedging, and that's in the match play, in the WGC match play. And it's talk about. All right, you want to keep adding to the misery? The 1 year I got Victor Dubuisson at 100-1.
I was with you with old Victor. Where is Victor right now?
He loses to Jason Day on the 6th extra hole. Okay, but that was before there were mobile apps.
Yeah.
So you had no window to hedge the guy. I mean, in the playoff. He'd have been plus $1.50. You're sitting there going to make a G note if he wins the thing, and then you get him in a matchup, and he's plus $1.40 in a matchup, you put $300-400 on that. You're sitting there printing $600.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And interesting about Victor Dubuisson, like he's a guy that's kind of like disappeared. You know what I mean?
Golf, the form is so fleeting.
It's tough.
Now you got the new kids, the Wolf, the Hovlands, your Morikawa guy.
Yeah.
Again, you got to watch for these kids. All right, so I'll tell you what we'll do real quick. We won't belabor the point, but the fall schedule, they give them 2 whole weeks off.
I know.
And the 2020 season starts, and there's actually some intriguing tournaments that are coming up in the not too distant future because they changed the structure and moved the PGA up and moved the FedEx Cup up. They never played the Greenbrier in West Virginia, and that's going to be the beginning, the opener for next season. That's in a couple of weeks. So
Greenbrier's gorgeous too. West Virginia, nice traditional, like old style course. No, I really like the Greenbrier. I think that's going to be a great event. Brian, you're right. There's a couple turkey events in there, but you said it with these young players they have right now. Like nobody's safe. This is where kind of like the grinders in the past would go, okay, good. Tiger Woods, Rory, all these guys are going to take a little bit of time off. It can, maybe win some money. But these young kids are staring there going, hey, everybody, I'm fresh out of college, and I'm going to kick your ass too. Like, that's the thing, man. It is so good, the quality of golf we have right now. It's getting harder and harder to pick winners. These kids out of college, they're afraid of nobody. Let's put it that way.
Hey, you want one more just for giggles? Because I know you were licking your wounds a little bit. Just so misery loves company. This is last summer. Speaking of the Greenbrier, I happened to play Southern Highlands in Las Vegas. Pretty ritzy joint.
Yeah.
It's one of these things where you have to play with a caddy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so I'm playing it. And
you're getting big time on me.
Well, wait a minute.
I'm hitting the beauty.
No, but it's to the point like I'm in the bunker and I'm going to rake the thing. Don't worry. I feel guilty about the caddy. No, that's my job. So anyway, so we're playing at this fancy ass place. And before we played, we're in the pro shop, and so we're in there, and the pro there is talking. Yeah, he goes, Kevin Knott practices there. He lives in Vegas. Kevin Knott trains there.
Yeah.
So he stands there, and this is the week before the Greenbrier, and he says, Kevin Knott was on the range last week, and I don't know if he was with Top Flight or TaylorMade. Was his sponsor, and somebody gave him a new Titleist driver, and he's hitting the living hell out of it off the tee. And so he's telling him, he goes, "This is the most unbelievable thing. I'm 25. I'm comfortable with it. I'm hitting it 25 yards further. I'm this. I'm that." Kevin Nuss cancels or gets out of his contract. He gets out of his sponsorship deal. So now because he's switching the driver. He buries his sponsorship deal to play this driver. So the guy tells me the story the week before the Greenbrier, and Kevin Na's out there traipsing around the next week wearing a hat that says SOHI. Like so high.
High.
Like, what the hell is that? What kind of, he's wearing a Southern Highlands cap.
Nice. That's what it's so high.
It's not a spot. He has no sponsorship deal, and he wins the tournament at 80-1. And the guy told me the week before that he changed, and I didn't bet him.
Oh God, that's like that's getting a premonition from God, the golfing gods there. But don't worry, Brian, I'm the same way. Like when I remember that time that Torbjorn Olesen, when he's not taking leaks on planes, winning tournaments at 150-1. The week I didn't take him, I remember I put in the bet, and I was so desperate for a parlay. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done. On my bet, you could cash out. So when you put money on a guy, if the event doesn't start, you could cash out. I would have won $2,000 with the money that I put in the guy on $20 to put a parlay in for some other stupid thing that didn't win, and the guy wins at like 200-1. I wanted to smash things, so don't worry. I'm even more of an idiot. I made the bet, was broke, needed $20, and the guy wins the tournament. What a joke! Yeah, that's the biggest stooge move of them all.
You talk about outside the box thinking. What are the chances, as we're doing the race to Dubai, that Olesen is a spokesman for Emirates Airlines?
I saw my girlfriend on a plane like tell Tito Ortiz to like shut his lip and stuff like that after a couple of vodkas. But wow, Olesen, when Ian Poulter's telling you, yo, boy, buddy, you got to settle down here. I don't know what the hell's going on there. That's crazy stuff.
That's unrealistic. Maybe it'd be a roof construction company where if your roof is leaking,
like they said, he like urinated on the plane. Like I don't know how drunk you have to be to do that. But anyway, I used to take Olesen at 200-1, but I don't know when he's golfing again. Anyway, Brian, I got a couple picks for you in the tournament in the Mega Masters. I got to go with Van Rooyen. His current form, the week that I bet him, which I had money, I think he finished fourth that week, like a fourth and a win. His form is so damn good. I wish we'd get a little more than 20, but you know what? You're getting McIlroy at plus 350, Fitzpatrick at 8, Fleetwood at 12. I'll take Van Rooyen at 20. And another guy in medium odds that I like to look at right now. I'll tell you, watch out for this Christian Bezoutenhout guy. I took him. I remember I won with him a while ago. Times. He's at like 80-1. I know you look at his name is Bezoutenhout. Yeah, he looks pretty good to me. Those are guys that I'd be looking at in that price range. And Robert McIntyre, for people that don't watch the European Tour, the Scot, he's playing a lot better the last few months too. This guy's really popping up on leaderboards. He's 80-1. Who are some guys that you're looking at, Bri?
Oh boy, this would be thoroughly nauseating, but he's actually played really well. Could Rory Sabatini with a range ball win the Omega Masters?
He could. He really could. And what's the deal? Him and Ernie Els like had it out because I think Ernie's like, hey, dude, like, aren't you South African? He's like, no, I'm playing for Slovakia. They got no other golfers but me. So I think like Rory Sabatini, he's been known to mix it up before. I remember he almost got in a throwdown. I forget who it was, Brian, because of slow play. I think Sabatini and him almost like started duking it out in the course. He's got a real hot streak. Don't let the colored ball fool you. Sabatini's he's got a temper.
No, Rory McIlroy's got the personality of a firing squad. He's a rugged dude, man. We're sitting here giggling about losses. This guy like be burying a wedge in your temple.
Oh, I know that. I know. You're so right. No, what Sabatini at 35-1, something to look at. The guy, he every week he's popping up on leaderboards and the books. You would have thought because of the high level of play, like hell, he's getting better odds than guys like Thomas Peters, who are world-class players. Lucas Beauregard. These are good golfers, right? So I'd give Sabatini a look.
I'll throw one at you that, McIlroy, can he go over there? And I will say this. The one thing Dustin Johnson did, and we'll wrap it up. The one that Dustin Johnson worked on his wedge game to go along with that great driver. And he's a terrific wedge player now. If McIlroy ever gets that wedge dialed in, buddy, he's going to be...
Oh, he'll be unstoppable.
Unstoppable. There's no doubt. So anyway, but he won travel fade. This is kind of a diminished field. Looking at it, I'm a little surprised. Eddie Pepperell at 66-1. And who's in good form too a little bit is Hayden Porteous at 75-1.
I like Hayden Porteous. He's a guy that I don't think people talk about enough. He's always, it seems to be in the top 10, top 15. Another guy, GG Brian, Gavin Green. He won a couple weeks ago. He's at 66-1. I kind of like those guys. I would like Andy Sullivan more. He always has that one bad round. That's why 55-1. He's a really good player. But
you know who he is? He's the European Sung J M.
Yeah, it's a good call. That's actually a very, very good call by you because he's world class, but he just has that round that takes him out of tournaments and he'll break your heart. Andy Sullivan's cost me a lot of bread after a bad round, but I'm going to take a shot. You know what, Brian? I'm going to ride your way with Sabatini at 35. I'm going to take a shot with Van Rooyen at 20, and maybe we throw a little Eddie Salt and Pepperell on the stake at 66-1 too. He can get it done.
Oh, come on. Where's the doggone scores? Wrap it up with this. I know he was playing well. I don't know. I'm looking for the final scores at a Scandinavian thing.
I got one for you, too. Jamie Donaldson, 150-1. I think he was top 10 last week. I think he got his finger back. Didn't he cut it with a lawnmower or something like that? He's making cuts. Watch out for Donaldson, the pride of Wales. 150-1. It's a good price for him.
Come on, here we go. Finally found it.
Who are you looking at?
He had one bad round. I'll tell you one thing, man. 125-1. Matthew Southgate.
Southgate's good. I like Southgate.
He was top 10. He was top 10. He went 65, shot a 72, and then shot 64, 67 on the weekend. Take that bad round out. He's right there. Matthews, that's an overlay.
I like these guys at like 140, like Lee Slattery 140, Southgate 150. There's some good bomb prices for guys that have played pretty well, Brian. So, yeah, we'll sprinkle it around. We'll get it done. I like this tournament this week. And going against Rory in a matchup, that'll probably be pretty big plus money, I'm thinking.
All right. And there was a beef sighting.
Yeah. What, Wendy's? Sorry, Arby's.
I bet you this would be pay-per-view event worthy. That would be you and Andrew Johnston in a chicken wing eating contest.
Yeah.
Cam minus $1.60.
In my old days, Brian, I'd take myself even up against beef. He's got a pretty big dome, but yeah, he's trying to trim down. It's hard though when you're sponsored by Arby's. That's a lot of horsey sauce. I don't know why.
The funny thing is, man, the PGA Tour's over. It starts again in 2 weeks, but we got the European Tour. We're going to soldier on, man. We got you covered with golf talk all year long. This is good stuff, bud. Always fun.
You have a good one, Brian. May the winners be ours, and we'll talk to you real soon, buddy. Hopefully, we'll catch one this week and not have a Sunday disaster.
Sounds like a plan.
Betmaker, let's make some money tonight.
Well, that's the Betmaker Show for now. We publish multiple times each week. We'd like to thank you for listening, and if you liked what you heard, please take a moment to leave a rating and review, or subscribe to our show feed, or share our show with a friend or two and help us grow the show. We very much appreciate it. Visit us on the web at betmaker.com. And reminder to sign up for the newsletter. Thanks to our engineer, Darren Vandermolen, and producer, Mike Gallivan. The Betmaker Show is a production of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated. Betmaker is a registered trademark. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this content without the express written consent of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction, as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At Betmaker.com and The Betmaker Show, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.